Ladies and gentlemen, sit back, put your feet up. It's time for the Other Three Amigos podcast with Declan McCormack, Wayne Mullins, and Dan.
Three lads, one podcast.
On this week's episode of the Other Three Amigos podcast, Wayne returns from annual leave. So of course, Gach Wayne investigates the new Rebel Army clothing hoodies. We say farewell to Spuds Buds, What's Cathal O'Sullivan's transfer fee up to now, the Wexford review, the Harps preview, and of course we go to our mailbag. All of this and more on this incredibly positive and non-irrational negativity containing episode of the Other Three Amigos podcast. Oh, you're talking, yeah, it was rough. Do you know what? I actually left Ryan's at about midnight, so actually not too bad, but it's just my voice sounds bad from all the shouting. Episode 218, your award-winning podcast. I don't know how I said that out of context as well, but Ryan, we are on Patreon, patreon.com. I did the whole J hour like this as well.
Are you still
patreon.com/. I'm not, I swear to God. Join us on Patreon for €5 per month flat fee, or if you want to support the pod a little bit further but still get the same amount of shit, you can throw us a tenner. Be sure to retweet, as it's so important to help the pod grow. We're the proud sponsor of Jack Doherty's boots. We're at €170 question mark for Marymount. We'll debate that in a second. Last Damus was released earlier on today. Be sure to go check that out. And we've just recorded an episode of 40 for 40 called Behind the Iron Curtain. Maybe not what you were thinking in regards to City at the moment, was based on the 1989 trip to Moscow with a very special guest who was there. Where do we want to pick up on? €170 for Marymount. Wayne Mullins.
I think it's 170 or is 190, Decky?
In my world, it's a minimum 190, possibly even 200. But
well, but obviously last week we include everything, but we got to re-emphasize what this is supposed to be. If Jack Doherty comes on and score, if City scored 3 times and Jack Doherty comes on and score, we're not adding it all together. It's when Jack Doherty scores. It's when he doesn't play, we use the City goals. Except this week. I get this week is a bit of a.
If he comes on and he doesn't score, and City scored 3 goals, what happens then?
Well, he's playing then, like, so it's not. It's only when he doesn't play, like.
But what if he comes on the 92nd minute and City are after winning 5-0, like?
That's tough. That's on Tim Clancy for losing money for charity.
Oh no! I'm going to say it's on Wayne Mullins for taking money from charity, the miserable bastard.
All right, okay, all right. Okay, if Jack Doherty comes on and doesn't score, but what if Jack Doherty starts and doesn't score?
Well, then that's fine because he's had the whole. You know what I mean? That was.
So City wins 6-0. Is Decky taking money away from charity then? Is he?
No, because that was the way it was from the start.
Okay, so if JD comes on and doesn't score, we use the score, right, of what the football club do, score goals. If he does come on and scores, it's only his goals. If anyone has an issue with that, you can email pod@totop.ie. Thanks.
Wayne Mullins, are you feeling refreshed after your...
Do you know what, right?
holiday?
I'll tell you, and I said this into the group, the lads know him, because the lads actually thought my phone was hacked. I went on holidays and I was off for two weeks I was off. And I was thinking, do you know what? Maybe like we need to rein it back a little bit, you know? Maybe it's just, am I being negative? I was genuinely thinking this. And I was sitting, looking out at the Mediterranean Sea, having my little pina coladas in a bottle and having my little, you know, nice little tipples. And I came back, went to the club shop. We'll continue later about the club shop. We'll talk about the Gach Wayne section. And I was there telling everyone at work that, you know what, I'm getting back into sport and it's fabulous. I love this football club. And then this email comes out today. Damn. It's not good.
Declan McCormack, what do you think of a lad drinking a pina colada?
I'm just glad when he said, I'm sitting at the edge of the Mediterranean with a peen. He went for pina colada because I had a split second. I thought this is going to get way off track altogether, you know. So I'm I'll be honest, I'm quite relieved that it was a pina colada that he had in his hand.
There was lots of different drinks, to be honest. That was just one I picked out of my head because I remember having a moment over there looking out because like the place was right at the sea, And I had a moment where I was like, do you know what? I actually do love this. Because I was starting to dislike this club. I was getting so annoyed at this football club. I was like, this isn't my club. But I actually thought, you know what? I love this club. I've been here a lot longer than a lot of people support this club. And I was like, you know what? Back on it. And then today, all my hopes and dreams are shattered to pieces.
Well, speaking on a positive note, it's time to get into Academy Watch. Under 20s lost 2-1 to Shamrock. Matthew Murray with the redeeming goal there. Under 17s had no game. Under 15s lost 4-0 to St. Pat's, and our under 14s won against Streety 3-2. And our amputee team had no game also. Right, now that that's over, it's now time to go to a bit of a new segment here on Total. It's now a crossover of both the mailbag and Commie Watch.
Почтальон Пэт. Почтальон и черно-белый кот. Только день начнется, Пэт с утра проснется, горожанам письма повезет.
Yeah, man.
Почтальон и черно-белый кот. Без ошибки точно он развозит почту, от работы он не устает. Знают все вокруг.
I'll be honest, I was willing to leave that play for the full 2.5 minutes or whatever it is, the Russian version of Postman Pat. I was quite happy to go with it.
Oh, how apt.
We'll have to try find out the cat mixed race bit of that and learn it off by heart or something. We had an anonymous DM came in with a screenshot of an email, it appears like. And the contents of it, I think it's a Force email. It says, Dermot Usher spoke of the possibility of Force being a positive force and assisting in challenging some of the negativity around the club from certain individuals, including Force members, and that he has zero tolerance towards that irrational negativity. And Force suggested the trust organising members and non-members meeting so that Dermot could address supporters directly, which the club confirmed they are open to. The meeting moved to another question from a Force member. The text as follows. I would be interested to hear if he sees a pathway to an official Force rep on board, in brackets, as supporter director, and how/what we might work on together to facilitate that happening in the future, end quote. Dermot Usher said that there was no plans for such a role and that the quarterly meetings were to be the engagement between Force and the club. Éanna Buckley also added that there was always an ability for people directly to discuss any issues with the club, either through Force or directly. And then the anonymous DMer follows it up with, quote, don't say things about my football club. Also another one, would you accept a supporter rep on the board to help with things? And then answers that one with said, no, meeting you great unwashed 4 times a year is more than enough. Just don't say mean things about my football club. It's mine. I'll take it home with me and none of you will be able to play with it. What kind of man-baby horse shit is this? Wayne Mullins, you have a face there that suggests...
Did that... No, because I haven't read that. Did that come in from...
A DMer, yeah.
Like, as I said earlier, I was all open to happiness and sunshine and lollipops with my week off, and it's just come crashing down again today. This is aimed at, from what I can see, my opinion is from reading that, because I'm a Forest member, so I got that email. It's a Forest member who's negative. Narrows it down quite severely, like, so I would hope that there's people out there who don't feel, under pressure from this quote, or, it's quite severe, I think. I just think that there's people out there that I'm just flabbergasted by that came as an official communication from Cork City Football Club. It's bizarre to say the least. And it really worries me that this is official communication from our football club. And I worry about the future of our football club now. I really do. That's my view on it. It only happened today, so I haven't really thought about it properly. But I'm really worried that that's the kind of stuff that's coming officially out.
Declan McCormack, what's your initial thoughts to that? And maybe a bit about what Wayne said there.
Dan, I'll be honest with you. My initial thought was, I'm glad I left Forest because I can now openly speak about these things without having to worry about any of Damien's "we don't talk about Forest" jingles, which I don't think I actually have access to. Secondly, unlike Scotty, who has bounced from a positive mind frame into a negative mind frame, I've gone the other way. And I just want to say publicly that I now renounce negativity in all its forms. I am now entering the world as a positive man, and I will move forward as a positive man. And the reason for that is because, look, it's zero tolerance. I mean, that's the least amount of tolerance anybody can have for anything. And I can't run the risk. The punishments are unknown. You know, what happens if you're negative in a zero tolerance environment? Nobody knows, you know. I could be disemboweled, maybe. You know, maybe hung, drawn and quartered in Dawn Square or somewhere. Maybe my head put in a spike outside Turner's Cross as a reminder to everybody else that, you know, negativity will not be tolerated. And like, I have a young family. I have a wife who needs me. I can't run those risks, you know. And like, but at least they would be, you know, quick endings and things like that. I mean, what if I was gulagged for a year, you know, and tortured relentlessly, you know? Like, what if they just played the streams from Turner's Cross this season on a continual loop? Or, you know, had the club podcast on in the background on a loop. I mean, I just couldn't, I can't risk it. I can't take the risks. So, as I said, I now renounce negativity in all its forms. And, you know, like, I mean, negativity, I bite my thumb, sorry, you know, I mean, that's how serious I am now. I know how that popped into my head, but that's one for all the Romeo and Juliet fans. You know?
Negativity is fine.
You're not a Forest member, so you're perfectly fine, Declan.
No. It says
including
intolerant negativity, including Forest, not exclusively Forest members. It's everybody, but it includes Forest members, you know. And I think it's also a positive that Forest can't now deliver its own notes to its own paying membership without checking with Cork City, because somewhere I saw on that email when it was sent to us and to me, it says that, you know, the notes that were sent out or the communication that was sent out was sent in conjunction with Cork City, or Cork City had okayed what was being sent to Forest members. So that's also important because, as I said, the last thing you want as a paying member of Forest is your elected board of management being able to send you directly their notes and their minutes from a meeting with a third party. It's you want that third party to have control over what they send you. Because remember when Forest didn't, when there was nobody had that control over Forest, and the board of management, you know, told us all we should vote for selling the club to somebody. And I mean, you know, that kind of negativity can't be tolerated, you know. So to stop Forest making the mistakes it has made previously, I think it's a big positive that the outside party now has control over how they communicate and what they communicate with their members. So I can only take positives from it, Dan, to be honest with you. Irrational negativity, that's the only negativity that's up for discussion. Rational negativity must be okay, you know. All other forms of negativity must be okay. So Wayne is focusing on the negative of irrational negativity. I think people can focus on the
being
positive.
irrationally negative by being negative, do you think?
I think you are, and I think you need to flip it around. Be positively negative, Wayne. Try and be positively negative, and that's the way forward for us all, I think.
I can be positive negative. I went in and bought a Gok Wayne watch. Here we go.
Are we going? We'll just do what Gok Wayne watch.
No, look, I'm trying to be positive. I'm so sorry. I went in and bought a hoodie for my son, right? The hoodie's nice, lads. The material is nice. The material is nice.
There you go.
But the design is shit.
That's very irrational.
I'm being positive. I'm being positively /rational. The printing is doubled on. You can see it. I have a picture of it. I sent you the picture. It's supposed to be a kind of a speckled look. I get that. But on the kids' hoodies, not the adult ones, the kids' ones, there's a double print on it. And you can see it. And it looks terrible. But the hoodie material is lovely. I have to say it. I went in there. I was shocked. I was like, do you know what? And this is where I was going to come on and be positive with the hoodie, which I am. I'm positively /rational.
Is that the only piece of merchandise you've got Wayne has picked up thus far?
Yeah, I looked at the t-shirts and they were terrible as well. And I looked at the bucket hats were okay, but the price of it is terrible too. So I'm being positive, but also irrational as well. So I'm positively irrational. So I'm okay. Like,
are you doing it like a double negative type of thing that it makes it?
No, I'm just telling the truth. I'm being positive, and this is me being positive. Like,
Decky.
Dan, I'd just like to say that I think all the new merchandise is absolutely fantastic, and it's some of the best merchandise I've ever seen in my life.
What do you like about it?
Everything. What's not to like about it? I mean, it's got even the kids ones have a double print. Even the club ones kids ones have a double print. So not only have they printed it once, they printed it twice. It's so positive. I mean, that's what we want. The club doubling down, double down, triple down. Make sure make sure the print is there, and they're so they printed it twice. That has to be good. That's a positive. I'm going to be
positively irrational. The pictures of they have in the club shop online are not the same what you buy in the shop. There's also no sizes on the website. There's also no information on the quality, what material is used. Is it organic? Is it not organic? Is it free trade made? There's nothing on the internet, on the website for that. Some might think it's irrational.
Again, Wayne, that's a positive. That's a positive, Wayne, because it encourages people to go into the shopper to ask those questions directly.
Absolutely.
To then lay their eyes on the new wonderful merchandise, purchase said merchandise that has been printed twice, and bring it home with them. So, I don't understand your negativity. I don't know where you're coming from. I'll be honest with you.
Melissa Reddy, we'll just keep it in the Gach Wayne clothing theme. She was spotted wearing a knockoff City jersey, crest designed by the club. What do you think of that one? Do you think the club have anything to say about that? I mean, it's good publicity. It's surely good publicity, though.
It was the wrong crest that the club designed a few years ago and released to the internet, and then China got hold of it and they printed it on a jersey, and then Melissa really got it. And fair play to her. Do you know what? It's great. We tweeted it, Toe Taps Melissa Reddy, and we got like a few hundred likes on it. Lots of bookmarks, lots of retweets. Positive again. Positive news for the club again, I think.
He's also some Kerry lad who's decided to start making his own Cork City merch that I see recently. I'm very sure. All right, will we take this? I'm very sure there was some lad.
No, is that the fella online who bought the jerseys off? Allegedly. What's his name?
There was a lad with one of the terrible Guinness ones. Remember I said there was something off about it, and
okay.
He's fucking his own.
They're actually they're online now. What's his name again? Pel.ie. He's selling Cork City t-shirts. Do you know what? I think they're fantastic, high quality t-shirts. And again, the logo is the one that Cork City designed, the wrong one that they released on the internet a few years ago. But I say, Pel.ie, go online, buy them. Great, fantastic.
What about the Frank's football one? I have lovely jacket here alongside me. I got from him, and I have a jersey in the closet there behind me as well.
See, as far as I know, I don't think you can copyright, trademark the old Cork City crest. And I did some digging into it, and you can't. So I don't see why there's an issue for people using it. Do you know?
You'd wonder. Cian Coleman in the running for Player of the Month. Declan McCormack, the big football man you were. Another positive move here for Cork City.
Absolutely fantastic. Great news for the club. Great news for the club captain. He's been outstanding this season. Fantastic centre back. Looking forward to seeing him play in the Premier Division next season, and hopefully he can guide us to a Premier Division title next year on the back of a fantastic January transfer window, which we were all looking forward to massively.
Wearing Rebel Army clothing at all times. Diego Connex, who was on trial with us in pre-season, is now on the bench in the last 2 games for the MLS side, Chicago Fire. Now, Decky started getting a little bit smug over this one, as you did compliment him the time you did see him. Decky, what stood out to you about old Diego here?
I thought he was fantastic on the day, as every Cork City player was that day. He came on at halftime. Look, let's be fair. He started a little bit rash. He got himself he got booked. If it was a league game, he'd probably get sent off for 2 yellow cards in the first 10 minutes. But he was a young fellow out of college in the States, on trial, probably a bit nervous. I just thought he settled into the game. I thought he played quite well. And I thought he was definitely worth a second or third look. Obviously, Cork City didn't agree and they let him go. He's now pretty close to a start at the Chicago Fire, is what seems to be happening, and fair play to them.
Decky, but they wouldn't be as good as Cork City, to be fair, though.
No, but there's nobody as good as Cork City, Dan. Obviously, we all know that. That's why we come on here every week to speak to the wonderful world of Cork City Football Club that we all just happen to inhabit. And look, I'm sure Diego, when he gets a couple of games under his belt for Chicago Fire in the Munster, I never said the Munster Senior League, in the in the Major League Soccer, will have his agent be contacting Cork City again, looking for a move back so that he can play Electricity Premier Division football next year in Turner's Cross.
Yeah, great to see. Wayne.
Yes.
We'll try put a, I don't know, how do you even put a positive spin on this one? Spuds Buds is no longer. How do you...
do you know what they've moved on to bigger and better things?
Decky, you were going to say something?
I think it is a positive.
Don't be ruining it now by telling the facts on this, okay, Declan? You did it on Twitter.
Okay.
It really annoyed me that you killed the buzz, but just, if you can't be positive, don't talk at all, okay?
Decky looks a bit upset. Wayne Mullins,
yes.
Describe your disappointment.
Look, you know what? I think by us being positive this week, they could be back in the next 2 weeks. I think they might be. Because we're being positive.
We should reach out to them for sponsorship. We should get a toe tap. We should get a toe tap, Spuds Buds.
Because doing that, and they've
a special chicken one.
They've been banished from Turner's Cross because of us. So we're going to now admit wrongdoing, saying we're sorry, Spuds Buds. And we hope by denouncing you and us together that you'll be back in Turner's Cross in a couple of weeks.
What were they actually called again? Was it like Best Buddies or something? I mean, they should really go with the name Spuds Buds, to be fair.
Spuds Buds is
much better name.
But can I just say, Dan, that Best Buddies is a very clever name, and it is something that we should give them credit for, Fair
play to you, Decky.
Are we going to do this the whole podcast, are we?
Well, you've no idea, kid. You have no idea.
We're coming to the mailbag here now, and Dylan asks, what are your thoughts on irrational negativity? Wayne Mullins.
I think it's like you're going to have to be positive going forward. Like I've seen the light, I've seen my ways, and I'd just like to say myself and Declan, this is going to be a positive podcast from now on.
Actually, in another bit of positivity, I spoke
Zero tolerance.
In Declan McCarr. Well, I will do that again because it's equal to fucking hear you. All right. Declan McCormick, what are your thoughts on irrational negativity?
I'd be honest, Dan. I think it's by far and away the best of the negativities. If you're going to strive for a negativity, I think irrational negativity is the one to strive for. It's as I said, by far and away the best of all the available negativities. And with that in mind, I hope that we can stride forward, and while it's the best, I think it's one of those things that's the best that you can cast aside. And as I said, I've renounced negativity in all its forms, and I hope everybody listening to this podcast is willing to follow suit and also renounce negativity in all its forms.
Another positive, I guess. During the week, I got to speak to Jake O'Brien, Cork City Cork City
Fantastic.
hero. And I got to, you know what? I got to get the inside scoop on the whole.
did?
I got there first. Toe tap Stan Casey got there first on the whole transfer rumour mill, you know, going around. His Dortmund, West Ham, Everton's been mentioned, you know.
Which is a positive. It's a positive. It's a positive.
Hugely so, Wayne Mullins. Hugely so. Some more questions here from the mailbag. Jason Shanahan asks, again, what are your favourite poultry-based establishments in Cork? Wayne Mullins.
Poultry-based establishments.
Poultry.
Chicken,
like.
I'm a beef man. I'm a beef and a turkey man.
Wayne goes out for poetry.
Best poultry
Dearest
establishment.
Marjorie.
Romantic Ireland's dead and gone. It's Widow Leary in the grave.
I'm a big fan of turkey, as you know, and beef. So I do like Bunsen burger. I like that's probably the best burger I've ever had. Poultry wise, I'm not a big fan of the chicken. Maybe Decky likes a bit of chicken, bit of cock. I don't know.
Love a bit of chicken, me, Dan. Love a bit of chicken. The thing is, when you take the chicken out of the packet, you don't know whether it's cock or chicken. You know, it's dead. It's meat. But like as I said before, said it on Last Damas last week. You know, the best chicken outlet in my world is my kitchen, where I cook all my chicken. I might roast it, barbecue it, put some kind of Chinese sauce in it, make a nice, you know, chicken stir fry, whatever it may be. You know, so. Yeah, I'm not one for going out for the chicken. I'm a big fan of creating my own chicken dishes.
I'm not sure how to follow that one up. Duncan Noonan says, should the club promote more of the women's team now that there's not much interest in the men because of the title being basically done? Wayne Mullins, should the club promote more of the women's team because there's not much interest in the men's?
No, I think they do a good job. Like I have to say, like Danny and James have done an amazing job. Like they're mid-table, sixth. They're best of the rest.
Big win at the weekend.
Absolutely. That's probably our biggest result since the cup final back in 2017. Was it we won the cup up in Dublin? Were we even Cork City? I think we were Cork City Women's FC or something, weren't we? I think like the lads are in the shop window now. I think for other clubs, and they're in a position now where Backham. Can't say back him or sack him, but you know what I mean? You either back him or you just... What I'm saying is the club need to back them now because they've proven they can do it with not only a shoestring budget, but no budget. And I think that the two lads have done a fantastic job. Do they promote? I think they've their own Twitter account, and they do promote, and City do retweet it. So I think the promotion of the women's team, I don't see what they've done wrong.
Garrett, where the hell is Summer Barry? Says, is there any player from the past that you hated so much, but you would have loved to see them play for City? I would have loved Glenn Crowe, in brackets. I hated when he scored into the old shed and did his Crowe celebration. Paul Osham is another great player.
This is a car crash of a fucking podcast.
I think it's one of the best podcasts we've done all year, not honestly. Decky is
Paul Osham. Fuck me.
Paul Ozam, Dan. Paul Ozam.
It was nearly Osham anyway, so you're lucky you got that.
Paul Ozam might be the best midfielder to ever play in League of Ireland football. Like, I mean, you're talking about League of Ireland royalty here, Dan, to be honest with you, you know. Super player. The first one that came to mind for me was Jason Byrne. He just scored so many goals for Shelbourne. You just, obviously, at the time, I was negatively inclined, so I would have disliked him strongly, possibly even hated him, but at the same time, if he signed for Cork City, you would have absolutely loved it, you know. Kevin Hunt, with his unique chant, was probably another one as well that you would have taken. Look, there would be plenty of them, but Byrne and Hunt were probably the two that first came to mind for me anyway.
Wayne Mullins. Who do you hate?
I don't hate anyone, Dan. What do you mean, player-wise?
Yeah. Player from the past.
Stephen Gagan was quite good and I hated him. That's probably about it. Pat Fellon was quite good. but I think he was
He
probably a
was.
little too. He was too small to be in the team we had. Like we had like Dave Barry, Patsy Frayne, all that kind of
Or was he
players.
far
And we
away,
needed
Wayne?
someone. Could have been far away too. He was in Dublin. Who knows? Who else? That's it really. I think Pat Fenlon, Stephen Gagan, Owen Heary was quite decent, but would he have gone to our team? I don't know.
Decky, that resonated with you.
I was just laughing at my own Pat Fenlon joke, to be honest with you. Could you imagine, could you imagine if Heary signed for us and himself and Georgie were going at it every day and traded a bit? Like, it would have been mental. But Heary's a great shout, actually. He is a great shout. And like Hoggy was right back on our side. Oh, yeah. We never would have signed Heary because Hoggy was right back.
Actually, I don't hate him. Stewie Byrne, 100%. Would have been fantastic for Cork City.
Yeah.
Roy O'Sullivan says, what players are must keep for next season?
Barty Wade and
Keane Coleman, the June Player of the Month.
Yes. I would keep Charlie Lyons because he's left-sided centre-back. A few others.
Jack obviously be there.
I don't think he suits our system. I don't think he's... I don't think he'll be around next season. I would hope he is. I don't think he will be.
Did he not sign a 2-year deal?
I don't think his... How would you put it? I think there'd be zero tolerance on kind of moaning at this football club, which is what we do. So I think that there was a certain person in the ground last week involved in the football club stating... No, do you know what? I'm not going to say that. Cut that out. Fuck it.
Declan McCormack.
See it.
I can't say it. Yeah, they were saying that Jack Doherty's a moaner. Openly to people. Which was, again... Is that irrational negativity? It absolutely is. So, like...
Declan McCormack, do you think Jack Doherty will be here next season?
I do, because he has a 2-year contract. I absolutely do. I think they'll all be here next year. I mean, the question is, who do we keep? Every one of them. They're 15 points clear at the top of the first division. What more do people want? It's been a fantastic season. Brilliant return in the division. And I hope everyone is here next season to play Premier Division football.
Connor says, who is or could be Cork City's greatest ever academy product? Declan McCormack, just keep the positivity rolling.
I think it's, well, like, of what we know of and what has come through so far, obviously, look, Cahill is an unbelievable player. Jaden Uma is off to Benfica. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Like, we have academy graduates like Jake O'Brien. Who knows what Jake is going to achieve in the game? There's a host of very good young players in the academy that we don't know much about yet, but of the players we know about, obviously Cahill, Jaden, Jake O'Brien are the ones that probably have the best shot of that title at the moment.
Shane Long?
You follow
Yeah,
up? Sorry,
that's true.
follow.
That's true.
Jack Keller says, what positions should we be looking at and who do you think we should sign? I feel like we could probably have this one every week. Wayne, just give me...
Striker.
Yeah, the position you'll be looking at, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think we've been talking about this for weeks now at this stage anyway. Declan McCormack, presume same.
And a right back. We desperately need a right back and a minimum next
year. Liam Roach asks, what is the funniest, in brackets, somewhat realistic outcome of the relegation playoff? Athlone sending Pats down, etc.
No, Dundalk going down. That's what we want. That's all we'll accept. Zero tolerance for anything else.
Love to
in
see it.
In terms of funny, Cove Ramblers relegating Dundalk with a 92nd minute penalty. That was never a penalty. It was an obvious dive, but the ref gave it. And Dale Holland thumped it into the top corner. Cove won 4-3, having been 3-0 down after 63 minutes. Staged an unbelievable comeback. And as I said, win with a penalty, last kick of the game. Dundalk are relegated.
Well, on that note, that concludes the first half here on Toe Tap. Come back to us in the second half, where we will have the Wexford review, the MVPs, and of course, we have our Harps preview.
Hey, Toe Tapper! As you know, everything is increasing in price. Extra small clothes, anger management classes, raw liver is the same price as gold. And kids' sweets used to have 20 per pack and now only have 5 in each one. And Jack Doherty is on course to score 100 goals. And he's going to bleed us dry. We need you to help the gang by joining our Patreon for exclusive pods, news and much more. For a $5 a month, you can ensure that Wayne doesn't smash up his laptop, that Dan has really small clothes, Eileen is satisfied, and Declan gets lots and lots of jellies. Head to patreon.com/toe tap to support the cause.
Welcome back to part 2 Toe Tapper. Wexford 1, Cathal O'Sullivan. Well, 2, 3. I don't know what I was going for there. Cork City 3, right? Cathal O'Sullivan.
Well done, Dan.
I was trying to be funny or clever, and it went absolutely terribly. But Jesus, Wayne Mullins, it was all about him. What's his transfer fee looking like at the moment?
Here, remember I said at the start of the season he'd be the first €1 million League of Ireland player? Or did I say Cork City? I said something to that anyway. It's still happening. It's on.
I think we were at 325, I think, the last time. What's he at?
Realistic money, $1 million, or get out, like.
Declan McCormack.
Reject every offer under $1 million.
Declan McCormack, how impressed were you by Cathal O'Sullivan? What a brace.
Overall performance was fantastic as well, and that probably gets lost a little bit in the fact that he scored 2 brilliant goals. But he was exceptional, and look, I mean, everybody saw the second goal. We tweeted it, and I don't know how many retweets and likes and bookmarks it got and everything else, you know. But the first goal is a really, really good goal as well. Like it's a great ball in from Evan McLaughlin. Drops to Cathal at the back, but like the angle is tight. So many times you see that ball ballooned 5 or 6 feet over the bar, wide, both 5, 6 feet wide and 5 or 6 feet over. And the timing is perfect, like knee over the ball, bang in the top corner, keeper no chance. And like Wexford up to that point had something to hold on to, and he just took it away from them. And then to come out, what was it, 43 seconds or something into the second half, to do what he did. Like, and you got to remember, he got the volley with his right foot, and he hit the second goal with his left foot, you know, and it's just incredible player, you know. There's not a whole lot more you can say, to be honest, you know.
Wayne, what impresses you most about young Cathal?
It's just the composure, I suppose, is the main thing, really, isn't it? The composure for his age. Like I remember Billy Woods, I'd say he's around 94 out in Pitchestone. He scored a similar. It was on the other end. He cut it on his left foot. He cut it on his right, and he curled the top corner. It was the best goal I've ever seen. And Cathal is virtually the exact same. And it's just a composure for a young lad is astonishing. It really is. There was a question on it was on the Toe Tap chat room, the private chat room we have. Patrons, if you're looking for a private chat room where everyone can chat together, it's a live feed of chat, so you know it's good fun. They're asking, like, do you sell him now or do you hold him and increase the price? I'd hold him. I'd keep him as long as possible. The more games he plays, the more he's worth, the more compensation we get. Or if we get €1 million offer, you take it.
Yeah, I mean,
he's that good.
He's had 2 or 3 like fairly viral moments now at the moment, to be fair to him. Like,
yeah, that's it. And Toe Tap have been first to it every time, tweeting it.
Declan McCormack, we were speaking about Jack a little bit earlier on, but he now seems to be back in the side. Good news for City. Are you kind of along Wayne's line of thinking he might not fit into the system, at least at the moment?
No, I don't agree. I think the triumvirate, like, he's perfect in the 10 at the top of that triumvirate. Sean Murray was seen, you know, walking around Cork today in Cork City gear, like, so Sean is still around. So obviously it must have been an injury that kept him out of the trip to Wexford, and we'll have to wait and see how that situation develops. But no, I've no fears for Jack. I think he finished his opportunity well the other night. And, fair play to Conor Dryne. Then he came on, and it's late in the game there, and he's driving straight through the middle of the pitch, looks up, sees Jack, plays the perfect ball to him. Jack doesn't have to break his stride, just on a naturally cool finish. And look, it was a very, very good performance all around from Cork City after a terribly poor start. But yeah, I genuinely think, all joking and messing aside, like there's only positives to take from that game. Hopefully more of the same in the next few weeks.
Wayne Mullins, anyone else outside of Carl particularly impress you?
I think you can see that, like, even with our passing and stuff, like, we're on the ball now compared to the start of the season. I think all the players are improving. I still think that the game was it wasn't the greatest game, but we're winning it and we're playing a lot better. And like, we had 63% of possession, which is quite high. And our passing accuracy was 84%. That was down around the 70s at the start of the season. So I think it's a united front. I think all the players are stepping up a bit, not as much as they can. I think they're not in top gear. Which I thought it was a general, like, it was still, we were watching the game, we were bored after a game, but we're used to it. It was the best of a boring game. Is that the best way of...
We excited by the jeopardy?
No, I wasn't excited about anything at all about Cork City anymore. Do you know? Even on holidays. Did I even watch the game when I was on holidays? I don't think I did. Did I? Oh, I did. The Bray was the Bray game was last.
Yeah,
I can't even remember if I watched the game when I was away. But yeah, look, exciting times next season, hopefully, because without being irrationally negative, I think relegation set us back 3 or 4 years. And I think we're in a place that we've never been before. I think we're in trouble. But look, that's not trying to be irrationally negative. I'm just trying to be realistic. As a Cork City fan of 33 years, I think I'm entitled to have a view and an opinion without being irrational. So that's my view on it. I think we're in trouble.
Yeah, Declan, looking to next year, and I mean, without that UCD buffer, I just get the sense we're totally shagged and we're just going to turn into this yo-yo club.
But you forget, Dan, that Cove relegated Dundalk. So Cove then give us that UCD buffer.
Yeah.
No, look, I mean, it will be what it will be. Like Sligo Rovers, if you take a look at Sligo, people are kind of... There was an assumption that Sligo Rovers were going to be this year's UCD, and I strongly disagreed with that at the start of the season. And you listen to the pan, they're all, Sligo will fall. Like, Sligo have beaten Shamrock Rovers, they've beaten Derry in their last 2 home games, Yeah, they can be a bit rough on the road, but they have home form, which is something they have to cling to. Like, we talk about Dundalk. Before Dundalk lost 2-0 at home to Wexford last Friday night, they'd gone 8 games without conceding a goal at home. So they had something that they could hang their hat on and say, we don't lose games at home. We don't concede goals at home. Now, that's always going to change, obviously. But the point I'm making is, in our season last year, we had absolutely nothing that we could hang our hat on. We weren't good at home. We weren't good away. We didn't score many goals. We conceded way too many goals. Like, there was nothing all year that you could say, yeah, this is a real positive for us and we're good at this. Dundalk have a positive this year. Sligo have a big positive in their home form. Drogheda don't have the positive. So that's, for me, is why Drogheda will be the ones who go down. We come up next year, we have to find that hook. We have to find that positive, and I think it has to be our home form. We have to be exceptionally, like Dundalk have been, we have to be exceptionally difficult to beat at home. And you can see the way that Tim sets his teams up and the way he goes about it, that you'd imagine we will be. Will it be enough? Look, who knows? There's another 3 weeks in this window for teams to improve, not alone ourselves. There's a whole January window. So it's very hard to make predictions now. But yeah, the indications are that maybe as a club, we haven't really learnt from last time round. So you can't hang your hat in the club. Therefore, you were forced, and I will hang my hat on Tim Clancy and hope that Tim Clancy's know-how, his experience in the division previously, having brought Drogheda up and kept them up relatively comfortably, etc., that's the thing we can hang our hat on for next season. Hopefully.
Wayne Mullins, you missed it last week, and Decky kind of made the point that the other teams in that division were now already competing with the likes of Galway, Bows, Sligo, whoever's there that kind of meets the bottom end of the table. Are we doing enough now this season that we're going to be able to compete with these teams?
No, we're not yet. But we still have, as I said, another few weeks. We got to the end of the free transfer window. But history suggests that we don't really know. We're not really good at the transfer market. So we kind of have to wonder what's going to happen next season. Why aren't there players in so far? July 1st is gone. We're now, July 8th? We have a player here from... Where was he again? The striker. What's his name? Decky?
Matt McKevitt.
Yeah. But we need a few more in. Like, they should be lined up ready to go, and they're not. So I don't know. I'm not going to be irrationally negative again about this kind of stuff. But look, we know where we're supposed to be. And if we could turn to shells of the last decade, up, down, up, down, up, down. I'm telling you, this is our last chance. It really is. There's no point. There's no going back if we go down again next year. Take this seriously. Take it very, very seriously, please. And stop whinging about fans and just take it seriously.
Was it Matt Everett?
Sorry, what did I say? I said McKevitt, did I? Sorry.
Yeah,
Matt Everett is right. Yeah, sorry, Matt Everett is right. Sorry.
Stats from the game: City 63% of possession, XG of 1.16, shots 13 on target 6, pass accuracy of 84%. Good going there compared to Wexford 63. Aerial duels 54%. Etten, you want to pick up on after the game there, Decky, before we move on to our MVP?
Just there, Scotty mentioned about the rest of the transfer window now. We should just say that Tim Clancy said in his press conference last week that he's looking at a few players. Obviously, he has Matt Everett in. He wants to use the Stoke City friendly as kind of a trial game for Matt Everett. But he said he wouldn't expect any... Was it cataclysmic was the word he used? He wouldn't expect any... No, catastrophic was the word he used. He wouldn't expect any catastrophic changes to the squad in this window. Like, why not? Like, that to me said, look, I'm having a look at a couple of lads in the Stoke game. If there's one or two of them any good, I'll give them a contract. But there doesn't seem to be a drive or an ambition to bring Premier Division level players into the club in this window. So we'll do it in January, I guess.
That's a worry.
We now go to the most prestigious award in world football. We have the jingle once more.
The most prestigious award in world football. It's the other three amigos MVP.
Dan, wouldn't you love to send out the pod unedited? You just love it, just once.
Would be hilarious, but she'd definitely be getting another solicitor's letter soon after.
Allegedly.
MVP time again.
And actually, no, can I jump? Thanks, Declan, for bursting my bubble last week. I actually listened and I was shocked that you actually brought it up. This was our moment, like. And I'm not going to say it because I don't know who's editing it. Is it me or you? More F-bombs. You took my thunder.
What? We had agreed we were going to say it on the anniversary episode. I just worked away as kind of...
You could have waited for me, like, couldn't you?
Oh, sorry, genuinely, I'm like, Christ.
Do you know what? It's like me about to ask someone to go to my Debs and you just swoop in and take her away, like.
You're still not over it. You're still not over it, are you?
No, I'm not. That was my heartbreaking moment, and I couldn't even answer that question either. So yeah, thanks for ruining my moment. Anyway, carry on.
This has to be the most winningest margin in Totap MVP history. Cathal O'Sullivan. Wayne Mullins, have a guess what percentage of the vote he got?
Who was up for voting, actually?
Cathal, Greg, McLaughlin, Murphy.
Jeez, 90.
Good guess.
3.78. Round up to 94.
Declan McCormack.
0.5. So
I'll give that
95.
Declan McCormack the opportunity to reply.
I haven't looked at it, so I'm going to guess that one. But like, he surely got 85. He should have probably got 100. But there's always probably fellas from other clubs doing the bollocks. So I'm going to say about 85, 86%.
92%. Wayne Mullins, you're closer.
Oh,
You're closer.
nice.
Craig Bolger in second with 4%. Murphy in third with 3%. And poor old McLaughlin with 1%.
How many votes did he get?
I don't know, this doesn't show the breakdown, does it? It doesn't on the phone anyway.
Okay.
Another 3 points for the city as we go 15 points clear at the top. Give us your thoughts in 3 words. Billy Dorney says, simply the best. Niall Connolly says, never sell him. Noel Long says, are you serious? Block A CRS says, hand it over. Ball Sean says, half-time rave. John Creedon says, champagne on ice. Billy Dorney says, Cathal O'Sullivan. Duncan Noonan says, no match report. Philly Crowley says, Cathal O'Sullivan. Roy O'Sullivan says, 15 points clear. Magpie says, 20 million men. Connor says, outrageous, unbelievable, astonishing. Finn O'Driscoll says, Tim is doing a great job. Sean says, what price now? Ian Draper says, cold for July. Regina O'Donovan says, 15 points clear. Aaron Hill says, Cathal O'Sullivan is 17, exclamation mark. Anthony Falvey says, 10 million euro player. Richie says, Sean who? Nicholas says, Cathal is goated. Scotty CCFC says, City's going up. Thomas says, Vinny, Vidi, Vici. John Fitzpatrick says, finally beat Wexford. Gino O'Keefe says, Cathal is class act. Beer-bellied Hoofer says, sublime, sublime, sublime. Kevin Long says, feckin' class. Scully. And Cablo Rigo says, he's only 17. FFS.
Did Billy Dorney actually last week say he was the most patient man in the world?
He didn't quite say that, no, did he? I can't remember exactly what he said.
Yeah, he didn't say that exactly, but he did allude to himself being patient, which is like, if you meet Billy will tell you himself that he just flips depending on the results. You know, Billy's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, like, you know. Loves this club with all his being and just lays it all out there every time, every night, you know.
Cork City versus Fane Harps this coming Friday, 7:45. Wayne Mullins, how much are we beating these by?
I think I would take a glorious 1-1 victory. That's a victory for me, a draw. I take a draw. It's probably going to be a draw. That's my view on it.
Decky, you're looking at him with a face of disdain. Are you remembering the time he absolutely killed yourself and Eileen, was it? For the draws.
I'm only having a laugh. We're going to beat them 3-0. Easy. And Cathal O'Sullivan will score again. Hopefully Jack Doherty will score twice then. A JD hat-trick would be nice, wouldn't it?
Great for Mary Mount.
It would. The more we get from Mary Mount, the better.
Absolutely. Yeah, like, I mean, it's difficult for Harps. They drew 1-1 away in Longford, wasn't it? Last Thursday night. So not a great result, you know. I mean, success has completely gone off the boil. Missed, by all accounts, missed a number of very good chances in that game in Longford. You know, look, if we show up and play our ball, none of these teams can bother us. They can't go, like, we might give away a sloppy goal like we did in Wexford, but we just bounce back and we're starting. I have a habit of putting a hex on these things, like, but I was going to say we're starting to score a few goals, and hopefully it continues. I think I'd look at starting Jack. I'd look at. I think I'd leave Aaron Healy there, just for the experience. Again, that depends on what's happening with the Sean Murray situation. But if there's a danger Sean goes, then I think Aaron probably takes his spot for the rest of the season. So you want to give Aaron minutes as well, you know. And
What did you make of Aaron's
acquainted.
performance?
I thought it was a difficult pitch, you know. I was going to do the whole positivity thing now and say what a great stadium, and you know, fantastic fully covered stand, etc. But I won't, because Wayne's getting very pissed off with the whole thing. So look, the pitch was poor. It was I don't know, because obviously I was down there, I was watching the stream. It looked to me like the grass needed to be cut a bit shorter, and maybe Wexford deliberately did that to try and slow down our passing game and things like that. But look, it was definitely rough underfoot. I think that didn't help Aaron. I thought he played relatively well, to be honest with you. You know, there's not a whole lot he can do about the goal. He's the last man back. Wexford break from the corner. He has to go to Alua. Alua is one of the if not the fastest player in the league. And, you know, once Alua gets past him, it's a simple ball across for your man to score. Like, so I thought Aaron was quite decent, to be honest with you. And obviously he'll improve for the more minutes that he gets in his legs. We'll have to see what team Tim goes with for Friday night, but I would like to see Aaron starting to get a few more minutes for the rest of the season, because he's another one of the young players that you would be hoping could possibly kick on, and maybe, while not surprise Cork City fans, maybe surprise the rest of the league next season, and turn out to be a genuine Premier Division footballer for the next number of years.
Wayne Mullins, great to see Aaron Healy coming through.
Absolutely. And like, Liam Carney deserves massive praise for what he's done over the last few years. Continuing on from Colin Healy. Like, the players coming through, like, it's the best way for League of Ireland clubs to go forward is youth development. I think it is. The more money we can get pumped in, the better, I think. But yeah, the more the merrier. Long may it continue.
Absolutely.
A fine player.
Squad-wise, Decky, what way you lining them out? You taking anyone in, putting anyone out?
As I said, I'm starting Jack. Do you know what? No, lads, because the game was last Thursday. I don't know. Is it just the extra 24 hours or what? Like, I'm trying to remember who started where in that game last Thursday. But as I said, I'm looking to integrate Jack back into the starting lineup.
We had Wade, Coleman, Lyons, Bolger, Dyke, Steele, McLaughlin, Coffey, Crowley, O'Sullivan, Murphy, Aaron.
Yeah, but look, I mean,
he has to replace Dyke Steele if he's replacing anyone.
I think Malik was unlucky with his injury when it happened, because obviously only for that he would be part of the Dutch squad at the European Championships at the moment. So I don't know. Look, yeah, Malik got a bad injury, and it's going to take time for him to come back from that. I think it's going to take time for him to trust. Like, I never suffered an injury like that. I was, you know, but you talk to players, Scotty, they talk about having to kind of learn to trust their own body again, and like they're always kind of maybe holding back 5-10% for the fear of that muscle going again. So maybe instead of going for the sprint straight away, you don't go as fast and as hard as you would have done pre-injury, and it takes you maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 games to actually trust yourself to do that again. So I wouldn't be too hard on Malik at the moment, but I mean, for me, it'd be Jack for Barry Coffey. I think the back four is set in stone for the rest of the season, bar injuries. You know, it's going to be Crowley, Coleman, Lyons, Evan McLaughlin. Although Matt Kiernan was back on the bench last Thursday night as well for the first time since he broke his leg in the opening game, and that's a big plus as well, because Matt looked good that night against Kerry, but it's only one game. But he's another guy you desperately want to get minutes into before the end of the season, and then hope that he can kick on into a Premier Division footballer next year. So if he does come back in at left back at some stage over the next few weeks, what happens to Evan McLaughlin? Because he's been very good back there. You know, Tim has selection headaches coming, definitely, and that's a good thing for him. But back to the original question, 5 minutes later. Yeah, I've started Jack Doherty for Barry Coffey on Friday night anyway, Dan, and I'd probably leave the rest as was and start Sean Murray from the bench if he is available. Just as I said, with a view and a nod to giving Aaron Healy back-to-back starts and minutes.
Decky.
Any leaks this week, Decky?
No, all quiet this week, no, to be honest with you.
It's time for Decky's Room 101. Decky, what is another thing you would change for going into 2025?
Oh, look, Dan, for me, I think it's the team of the podcast, to be honest with you. I think last time we were a Premier Division club, there was just too much negativity around the place, and we need to go back to a positive environment where everybody, and I mean everybody, is on board, fully positive. There isn't one negative vibe out there. So I'd really like to get back to that first month in 1984 and get that vibe back around the club again, and hope that we could push forward with that 1984 vibe around the place, you know.
Geez, I think we have a new name for the podcast tonight, lads. 1984.
George Orwell's 1984. Christ. They're watching you.
It is now
that's fucking brilliant, Nick.
It is now time to go to a new segment here on Toe Tap. I'm very excited for this one as I'm wearing a Cork jersey. It's the GAA corner. Wayne Mullins.
Whoa.
I'm going to ask me GAA question.
I know I've been very
positive.
positive.
The balls after yourself.
I know I've been very positive, but hang on, no, it's like.
You were too busy pulling the balls after yourself when I actually brought this up while you were sitting there.
No.
Can I have 1 week of a J corner?
Can I just say so? If you now turn off the pod in disgust, I fundamentally agree with you.
Do you have a jingle?
How could I have a jingle for a GA corner? Like, let's see. Hang on.
All right.
I have a prison. Is it not? Is that what? Oh, the man Kyle Hayes was playing one day.
Who's Kyle Hayes?
Or I don't know, Dan, does the finger bus work? There was a finger bus. Was there a finger bus beat around the place yesterday? Like, I don't know.
Right. So my question is, Dan, I have a question you need to explain.
I feel like that's very fitting, to be fair.
My question is, how was there 3 Munster counties in the All-Ireland semi-final? Is it not just like one county per province?
No, so there's like... No, so it starts off in the provincials. And the way it is now, so we exclude Kerry because they're a bit crap for Munster, right? So it's Cork, Limerick, Tipperary, Waterford. They all play each other once. Right? And the top 3 go through into the All-Ireland series. The top 3 from Munster go through. 2 are knocked out in Munster for the whole thing, right? So those 3, Cork had to go through a bit of a back road, a small bit this year against Offaly and Dublin, but they do the same in the Leinster Championship. The Connacht one is kind of excluded because Galway are just shipped off into Leinster and Antrim were brought down from Ulster because they're the only good team there.
So there's only 2 provinces
so only 2 leagues
in the All-Ireland Hurling Championship.
It's Munster and Leinster.
What?
And
do you not have like a quarter-final, Munster quarter-final,
and then
the winner goes through, and the same in Connacht, Ulster? And...
Yeah, so our quarter-final was against Dublin. We had like a preliminary quarter-final before it against Offaly. Declan McCormack.
Do Ulster participate in the hurling?
Do what?
Ulster? Does Ulster participate in the hurling? The Ulster counties, like, do they take part in the hurling?
Just Antrim, really. Like, they all play it, but Antrim is the only one who are good enough to play down in Leinster.
So basically, Dan doesn't even know who Ian Paisley is. Dan doesn't know who Ian Paisley is. Oh my God, my life has changed forever. Dan doesn't know who Ian Paisley is. Anyway,
I know vaguely. I know
That's-
vaguely.
Love Island starts in 5 minutes. All right, just let you know.
I think we're actually done here, are we? We've done the mailbag.
1 minute 14, 1 hour 14. How much is that going to be cut out? I would say 12 minutes.
You always overestimate it, I'd say.
There's a lot of shit has to come out of this one.
No, not a hope. Not a hope. Was that the soundboard? Huh?
No, it wasn't.
Decky looks like
it wasn't the sunburn.
who was that rugby player with the mullet? What was his name? Shane
Byrne.
Oh my Christ.
How the fuck do I look like Shane Byrne? Seriously, like.
You turned your head. Look at the mic again. Turn your head to the
He
mic.
does. He does.
Shane Byrne.
He does look like Shane Byrne. Oh, that's a photo of Shane Byrne.
How do I? Like, I don't like.
You do look like Shane Byrne. Oh, I'm never going to be able to unsee that now.
Lads, come here now.
I think it's
Like,
the curtains behind you look like a mullet.
like, I do not look like Shane Byrne. Like, I don't like. I mean, if you said your man Simon Delaney, or something, I might go, all right. Like, but like, not Shane Byrne. Like, no.
There's something there. There's something there. Maybe it's just a vibe.
Oh, we must do Penenka Patrol.
Take a patrol. Better go see.
You waiting for
we have
that?
to
Jingle?
change
Jacking off, beating my meat.
Decky.
Loves me.
His favorite player is Jack Doherty.
What else can I do?
What else can I do?
My wet dreams are just
My wet dreams just came true.
Did Jack Doherty score a Panenka this week for €250 for the much needed facilities in Marymount? No.
I've been jacking off, beating my meat.
Decky.
He loves me and I'm in heat. What else can I do?
What else can
'Cause my wet dreams are just came true.
Last segment. We have it's a Cove Watch has kind of turned into is Gary Hunt under pressure. So Wayne Mullins, I'm gonna put it to you this week now.
Yes.
Is Gary Hunt under pressure?
He's not. They won 1-0 against Treaty. They're 6th place, 2 points behind the playoffs.
Oh,
Form puts him in 4th place.
he's doing well.
If Tim Clancy moves to Dublin, Gary Hunt could be under pressure at Cork City, lads.
Oh,
There's a shout.
Decky, could
To
you
be
ever
fair-
see Gary Hunt being put under
Like
pressure?
a
at Cork City?
phoenix from the flames is Gary Hunt.
Like, to be fair to Gary Hunt, lads, if he gets Cove into the playoffs, and they're only, as Wayne said, they're only 2 points off it, like, that would be manager of the season territory, to be perfectly honest with you, in my humble opinion. Genuinely, like, that would be an
And
incredible.
Totap can have something to do with this. Do you know? He's kind of the manager. Instead of putting your arm around him, he needs a bit of pressure. And I think Totap have given the pressure positive, rational negativity.
Yeah, like,
It
I mean,
shows it can work.
I could see the situation, Wayne, where he is collecting his Manager of the Year award, and he personally thanks you. Thanks you personally by name.
I'm on stage, arm in arm. We're raising the hands together like a boxing referee. We're like the Guildford 4 and the Birmingham 6. Like, we're walking out of there champions.
Okay, that's a kind of a strange analogy, but look, we go with it. There's no bother whatsoever, Yeah, unbelievable performance. 2 points off Bray, ahead of Wexford. Like, that's serious. Like, fair play to
They
him.
are going to get to play. Like, he's 4th. They're in 4th place in the form table. They're going to finish the right time to be in form. So fair play. Gary Hunt is not under pressure.
Okay. And speaking of finishing, we're going to finish here on Toe Tap. there's nothing really else to say, is there, lads? Like, I mean, do you have any parting words of wisdom for the toe tappers?
Just hopefully we'll have another episode released this weekend for Patreon with did we mention who was coming on with us, or did we leave that till the end? Did we mention it? We didn't.
We didn't mention it. We just said there was somebody who was over there, but it was
so
genuinely, it was myself and Scotty did it. It's another cracker, Scott, like, isn't it? We actually agreed with the person that we'd get them back for a full podcast episode where we could go into some other stories they have, like, because
mad shit.
Yeah, it's incredible stuff. Like, you start talking about that.
Hopefully, we did want to release them in chronological order, but I don't think that's possible because it would just take too long. Whereas if we can release them as we get them, it's like Back to the Future, jump up and back. So this will be 1989.
Yeah, look, that's
we'll
true.
Probably go forward and back again.
Yeah, the chronological thing was it was something we said we'd do, but it's just not possible because you almost have to record them in order to put them out in order, and it's just not possible. So we're just going to do them and put them out as we get them, and then if like people could arrange them, I presume chronologically themselves afterwards, if they had all 40 of them, I presume you could, chronologically or put them in order yourself.
Thanks for the feedback on the last one.
Yeah,
it was very good.
Great to get it back, and thanks to Rob for doing it. Lovely fella, and it was great to chat to him. And
very, very handsome man.
He's
disgustingly handsome.
He is a handsome man. Like, even I could see it. Like, and I'm as straight as the straightest man in on the straight road. Like, but
which isn't very straight with all the dogging that does be going on.
That two negatives make two positives make a negative, is it?
Oh, lads. So take it out. Oh, stop, for fuck's sake. Anyway, handsome Rob. That was one of us wanted to call the episode that, but we felt we should pull back from it in the end and just keep things somewhat serious with a 40 for 40. Yeah.
Right. Adios, lads. Love Island starting.
Adios. It's already started, lads. Jesus.
I don't care, but adios anyway.
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry. Be happy. In every life we have some trouble, but when you worry you make it double. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy now. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry.